Sit down, Uttam. Your name is?
Kunal Shroff.
Kunal Uttam. Full name is Kunal Uttam?
Uttam is my father's name, sir.
Okay, your name is Kunal. Huh? Tell us something about you briefly and why you want to join civil service after having done mechanical engineering.
Yes, sir. Sir, I did my BTech and MTech from IIT Bombay in mechanical engineering. And sir, I was always fascinated with my father's work because he works under the IS officer, AMC, Assistant Municipal Commissioner. So he used to tell me about the opportunities which an IS officer has, the leadership roles and the impact he can create, and the diversity of work also. So after in my IIT, I decided to give civil services a try.
So this is your which attempt? First attempt?
So second attempt. First attempt I did not qualify.
Okay, that's right. Tell me. Now, we have heard, we have elections always going on in, some state or here in India, there are continuous elections.
Yes.
So Prime Minister Modi has been talking of simultaneous elections.
Yes.
Give me two questions I ask you. First, is it desirable? Two, is it feasible?
Yes, sir. Sir, the desirability point of view, it is true that India is always in election because there is some election every 3 months. Sir, but when the state and national elections are coincided, in case of simultaneous election, the voter behavior is affected, sir, because the state issues and national issues get mixed up. So the priorities of the government and the mandate of the government will also change. Feasibility, sir, yes, certainly it is feasible, and it will also take less of the time of the police personnel, the teachers who are employed in election duty. So it is feasible, but I don't think it is very much desirable, sir.
Okay. How is it? What will be the action required to, how can we make it feasible? Will it involve major constitutional amendment?
Yes, sir. It will involve a constitutional amendment. Just because there is a provision in constitution where the state government, if does not have the majority of the legislative assembly, should be replaced. But in case of simultaneous election, they have to wait for the next term of central election. So in that case, either there should be under president's rule, or so this will require a constitutional amendment.
So will it affect the basic feature of the constitution?
So federal structure is the basic feature of constitution.
In India, we don't have a federal structure. There is nowhere it is written India is a federation. Is there any description anywhere in the constitution that India is a federation?
So union of the state is the description, but in the basic structure doctrine by the Supreme Court, federal structure is a form of basic.
Have they mentioned the federal structure? Have the Supreme Court said federal structure?
So I am not completely sure.
But you are saying it.
Sir, but this was as I read in this is what I am aware of.
So we don't talk of federal structure, but the point is these elections, as our constitution is, it will require major changes.
Yes, sir.
And it will affect the working of the states.
Yes, sir.
So it can be constituted as a basic feature. Once that is there, does the parliament has power to amend the basic feature, the constitution, which will affect the basic feature of the constitution?
So according to the Supreme Court's decision of basic structure doctrine, parliament cannot alter the basic structure.
So you said it is feasible.
Sir, I was talking more from the administrative point of view rather than.
But this is not an administrative decision.
Yes, sir. From legislative point of view, it will require.
But ultimately, if you want to rule a country, if you want to make any changes,
yes, sir,
there will have to be rule of law.
Yes, sir. So,
let me come back to other legal issues. You have seen about. Tell me, there is a lot of news about appointment of judges.
yes, sir.
Listen my question very carefully. How a High Court judge is appointed?
Sir, the High Court judge is appointed by the collegium system. I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but it consists of a High Court judge and I think Supreme Court, the Chief Justice of
Tell me, procedure-wise, in High Court, can High Court decide, or does High Court make recommendation? How does it work?
Sir, court makes recommendation to the
Oh.
high.
Who makes recommendation from the court?
Sir, I'm not sure.
There is a collegium in the High Court also.
Yes, sir.
It consists of the Chief Justice and two senior most judges.
Yes, sir.
You are aware of this?
Yes, sir. I'm aware of it.
And other than the chief, these three persons, who else can make a recommendation for the appointment of High Court judges? Does the executive any role?
Sir,
Can
I'm
the
not sure.
governor make recommendation?
I think
Can
it
the
is
Chief
the
Justice make recommendation?
I'm not sure, but I think it is governor. Sir.
Okay, that is, and then this recommendation goes to the Collegium of the Supreme Court.
Yes, sir.
And then they, after considering, process it further. In case of appointment of Supreme Court judges, does executive has any role?
So president can make recommendations. So, but the central government, I don't think after the scrapping of NJAC has any role in.
But president has.
President can recommend. Sir.
Why NJSC was struck down? Give me two, three important reasons why NJSC was struck down by the Supreme Court.
Sir, according to the Supreme Court judgment, NJSC was against the separation of power, executive and judiciary. This was the important reason. And sir, it affected the independence of judiciary, and the role of executive increased. So
There was one very special point they made. One very specific point. What was that? Other than what you are saying they made, also they found one big flaw. What was that?
Sir, I'm not aware.
Have you heard of eminent person? You have not read the NJSC.
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Uttam. Kunal. Kunal, tell me, you like to go to gym?
Yes, sir.
Now, when Delhi air is so polluted, you think gym is a good exercise?
Sir, I stay in Mumbai.
You stay in Mumbai, so things are equally,
Yes, sir.
things are not as bad as in Delhi.
Yes, sir.
But then if air is polluted, how do you get advantage from gym?
Sir, it is true that polluted air, when the heart rate rises, will affect more.
Yeah.
But sir, in indoor gym, I think the pollution can be curbed with air purifiers. But the gym I go to does not have an air purifier.
It does.
It has an air conditioner only.
So what precaution you would like to take
Sir, first
so
of all,
that you do not breathe polluted air and do not harm yourself?
sir, on individual level, I can wear masks, which can filter out the particulate matters. Sir, on policy level, the cleaning of city air is the idea, sir.
Okay, and you read some non-fictional books.
Yes, sir.
So which is the book that has attracted your attention most and why?
So currently I'm reading a biography of Elon Musk by Ashley Vance. So I find Elon Musk very fascinating. So this is...
So what is it that fascinates you in this book?
Sir, the ideas he had and the way he made those out of the world ideas a reality and finally made a business out of it is very fascinating, sir.
COVID-19.
Sorry, what were his, tell me his 2-3 main ideas.
Sir, the biggest idea he had is electric cars.
And what else?
Sir, the SpaceX company.
Yeah.
COVID-19,
Yes.
has it become a pandemic or not? And what would be its impact on world economy in coming times and Olympic games that are going to be held? What is your thinking?
Sir, recently the Japanese Olympics in 2022's committee has questioned the viability of those games. Sir, because of the obvious reason that it transmits very easily between humans. And sir, the COVID, the impact on the world economy is already
No,
been-
so complete that, because Japanese have held
Yes,
a
sir.
meeting.
But there are
What
also-
was decided?
Sir, but Olympics is a huge investment sport, and there are lot of investments made by broadcasting companies. The hotels are booked, the players are already ready. So there are 2-3 options which the committee has recommended. Number one is postponing the Olympic Games to next year, but this will coincide with other games, Commonwealth Games, so it may not be that feasible. And the second option is cancelling the games altogether.
Okay, now come to the other part, world economy and COVID.
Yes.
Is it a pandemic?
Sir, the recent report I read about WHO that it is on the inflection point. It can either go down or become a pandemic. Sir.
Now, world economy, impact on world economy.
Yes, sir. But the impact of coronavirus is already being seen on the world economy. Especially in India, sir, the imports have drastically reduced. For example, in pharmaceutical industry, the activated APIs which
Right, pharma industry. Which other industry is first hit?
So automobile industry is the spare parts which come from China, the rubber and some plastics are.
Okay, what will be impact of automation in manufacturing sector?
Yes, sir. Automation is the part of Industry 4.0, sir, and it is though it is a capital intensive industry, but it will lead to the speeding up of manufacturing process. It will lead to its more optimization, and so complex parts can be created at one place rather than being created on an assembly line. So the structural integrity of the entire system is not compromised.
Now, what will be the impact of automation? So one is this:
Yes, sir.
the processes will be integrated as Industry 4.0. Will it have any impact on the job?
Yes, sir. The low level and the low skill jobs will be wiped out, sir. But the new jobs, new opportunities will be created. For example, more programmers are needed to program those machines, and more material designers. But the low skill jobs would be affected, sir, greatly affected.
Okay, tell me one or two examples of artificial intelligence to improve policing.
Sir, the biggest threat today is the cyber crime and the child pornography which goes on. So artificial intelligence can be used to find out such websites or such users that host such material. So this is number one. And sir, number two is making the governance system more efficient through technology. So public service delivery through technology can use artificial intelligence.
And facial recognition, which
Yes,
is
sir.
using artificial intelligence.
Yes, sir.
Uttam, are you environment friendly person?
Sir, I am environment friendly, yes, sir.
Prove that to us by giving 3 statements about you.
Sir, I actually do not use single-use plastics.
Okay.
So whenever I order food, I do not ask them to send cutlery. So this I think is my personal contribution.
Okay.
And sir, next is I ensure that all the lights are switched off when I leave the room,
Okay.
and air conditioner. Sir, and third is I always use my AC about 24 so that it is more efficient. So these 3 other things I think are more environmental.
That's really very good. Okay. Don't you think then liking Formula 1 car racing is paradoxical in this sense? Because these are fuel guzzlers,
Yes.
F1 cars,
Yes.
and this is against like environment friendly norms.
Sir, a F1 car engine is the most efficient internal combustion engine we ever have on this planet. The normal efficiency of the engine is about 27 to 30%.
No, that is okay. They are the most efficient engines, but still, these are. Don't you think that these are the fuel guzzlers?
So these are the fuel guzzlers, but it serves a larger purpose. It leads to the development of technology. For example,
Okay.
the electric car technology is developed from Formula. And sir, as I said, the efficiency of IC engines. So if we implement those technologies in our normal road cars, so it will give a better mileage and average. So I don't think, sir, they are a tax on the environment.
But how come just watching them would fulfill this purpose?
Sir, I watch it for entertainment, and as I'm a mechanical engineer, I love the technologies that are used behind it.
Okay, you love the technology and you want to learn how to increase the efficiency of the engine in the
Yes.
future. But now you want to pursue civil services as a career.
Yes.
How can you utilize your knowledge then once you become a civil servant?
Yes, sir. Sir, since I would say
All
policy.
your knowledge of mechanical engineering will go in vain.
Sir, I do not think so,
You
because
don't think so?
government has a plan to introduce 30% of electric vehicles by 2030. So I think as a policy maker or a decision maker or policy implementer, I can use this knowledge to ensure that the policy is effectively implemented, and to understand the industry requirements and also the requirements of the government and the environment. So I think I will be in a better position to balance all these factors, sir.
Okay, fine, good. So you studied from IIT Bombay.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. What do you know about Powai Lake? Tell me or tell us something about the Powai Lake.
Yes, sir. Sir, Powai Lake is an artificial lake created by damming the Mithi river, which originates from Tulsi Lake. Sir, the Powai Lake currently faces an environmental crisis because of the eutrophication phenomena, because the industrial region around the Powai Lake disposes its effluents and waste into the Powai Lake. So it is being polluted, sir. But it is also a very scenic and a very beautiful site for evening walks, and it is a place for relaxation, sir.
Is it being utilized for some purpose?
Sir, the Powai Lake and the adjacent Tulsi Lake provide water to the Mumbai city.
Mumbai city,
Yes.
for drinking purpose.
Sir, water has to be filtered first for drinking purposes.
Okay, fine. Why is it so that IITs are, no doubt they are among the prestigious institutes in the world, but they are nowhere among the top institutes in the world? And in spite of the fact that they have the cream of the students, I mean, just like you, they have the cream of the students, but they are nowhere among the top institutes in the world. What is the reason behind that?
So IIT is a great institution because all the big American firms are headed by IITians, Google, Microsoft. Sir,
Yes.
but in case of ranking, sir.
In the case of ranking.
Yes, sir. Sir, the rankings, the criteria on which the institutions are ranked are biased against the IITs. Sir, because it takes into consideration the international students, the number of research paper published in journals. So in case of IITs do not have entries to those journals. So that criteria is biased against IITs, sir. So just because of the criteria, IIT does not feature in the top ranking institutions.
Let me ask you one question on this. Is it only bias?
Sir, it is not completely biased. IIT also has.
So what is the other major reason?
Sir, the inherent structural issue is the lack of innovation and the lack of funds.
So research, you see the point is,
Yes, sir.
we spent a very small fraction in India, a very small fraction on, our people go abroad, they do better because they get all those facilities.
Right.
So it is not a reflection on students coming out of IIT. You
Yes.
see, they are accepted everywhere. But IIT per se, because we are not, for various reasons, we don't promote research or not to the extent it is required.
Yes.
So your answer has to be objective.
Sir, I was answering from the point of view of rankings. So yes, sir, you are right. The research and innovation is the key which has lagged.
Okay, Uttam. One question on your father's home district, Nanded. Why it is popular for?
So Nanded is a very religious site for the Sikhs.
For Sikhs.
It has a Hazuri Bagh Gurudwara, where Guru Gobind Ji spent his last years, and it is one of the 5 takhts in Sikh religion, sir.
Okay, fine. One last question from your option. Your option is geography, right?
Yes.
You know that normally monsoon breaks on Kerala coast normally around 1st of June
Yes.
every year, and when the tropical easterly jet sets in, okay, and TEJ, that is TEJ. What is the causative factor behind the setting in of the TEJ? Where does because normally throughout the year tropical easterly jet is absent throughout the year, but tropical easterly jet comes into play only for 4 particular months. That is a monsoon month, that is June, July, August and September. What are the causal factors behind the genesis for the tropical easterly jet?
Yes. Sir, the heating of the Tibetan plateau during the March, April, May months, where when the ITCZ goes over the Tibetan plateau, leads to the upwelling, creates a low pressure, leads to the upwelling of wind. And these wind move towards south, sir, because the low pressure belts, and these come down as a form of tropical easterly jet. So I think the heating of the Tibetan plateau is the primary reason for the origin of tropical easterly jets.
Okay, fine. Thank you, Uttam.
Okay, Kunal.
Yes.
If we see various sectors, for example, if we see insurance sector, we have a different regulator, IRDAI. If we see banking sector, okay, we have a different regulator, RBI. If we see, let us say, our stock markets, it is regulated by SEBI. Okay, and all of them regulate in a very different manner, and this is where actually loopholes come and people do get avoided because of various different regulators. Okay, don't you think there should be an independent separate regulatory body especially for these sectors which are somehow interrelated. What are your views on it?
Sir, that is true. We have different regulators. Sir, but these regulators play a very important purpose because the requirement of a stock exchange and a requirement of an insurance industry are completely different. So these act as a specialized bodies in their diverse fields. So, but there can be a holistic regulator, which, for example, there is a prime minister among the cabinet ministers who is equal. So there can be such a body who can overlook and can have a holistic approach to fill those loopholes. So, but I think having a single regulator for all these would not serve the purpose.
It is your opinion.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think about the autonomy of RBI today vis-a-vis 10 years ago?
Yes, sir. Sir, the governor of RBI is chosen by a board. So the influence of the central government in the choice of the governor has greatly increased since the last 10 years. So I think this is the root cause why the autonomy has slightly degraded, and there has been issues such as the transfer of excess funds from RBI to the central government, which was never done in the history. And there was also the issue of invoking a clause in the RBI Act to direct the RBI, which was never thought of in history. So I think there has been a certain approach of government on RBI.
Okay, so what remedies would you suggest for the corrective action?
Sir, to change the RBI Act must be amended, because that is where from the governor is elected. So by amending the RBI Act by a constitutional amendment, I think by a legislative process, I think that is the way to bring in more autonomy.
Okay. Usually, why these days there is slowdown in automobile industry?
Sir, it has both structural and cyclical causes. Sir, from the cyclical point of view, there is a slowdown in global economy from 2012, and the structural causes are because of the GST and demonetization. The demand and the consumption in the economy has drastically reduced, and automobiles are a form of luxury goods. So people will prefer if they have excess money. So that is why, as the money with people is decreasing, this is causing a slowdown.
Okay, so as you mentioned about demand and money, okay, can you explain the concept of the term credit creation?
So I am not aware of the exact definition of credit creation, but if you allow me to guess, I think when RBI reduces the SLR and CRR, there is more credit available for the banks to lend.
Okay, that is from banking point of view.
Yes.
Okay, no issues. Okay. What plan do you suggest for Vidarbha region?
Yes, sir. So Vidarbha is one of the more backward regions of Maharashtra. So the primary activity is agriculture there. So I would say that providing agricultural infrastructure would greatly increase the income of farmers and reduce the problem of farmer suicide. So we can borrow technologies from Israel, like example drip irrigation, sprinkle irrigation in a more water saving way. So if we improve the irrigation infrastructure, and also sir, the APMC mandis, there is a lot of corruption in the APMC mandis and the cooperative banks which provide loans. So if we follow the model APMC Act, and if we integrate the ENAM, which is the electronic mandi, I think the problem of Vidarbha can be solved.
Okay, and looking at your DAF, why foreign service is not a very high preference for you?
Sir, I would like to stay in India itself. I would like to stay and serve in India. But given a chance, sir, I would take for Indian foreign service.
Okay, and one last question from your hobby, you like playing football?
Sir, I played football in my college level, but I don't follow it anymore.
Okay. Just one basic question.
Yes.
Last, what is hand of God?
Sir, I'm not sure.
In
about
football, let me give you a hint.
In football,
Yes,
have you
sir.
heard of Maradona?
Yes, sir.
Now you can guess.
Yes, sir. He scored a goal with his hand. Allegedly scored a goal with his hand. So that is what I think.
Let me ask you. We're talking about Vidarbha, huh?
Yes, sir.
You gave certain thing. There has been also talk of making it a separate state.
Yes, sir.
So what is your view on that?
Sir, we have to consider certain factors while making a separate state. The number one is the financial viability. So Mumbai as a region provides a lot of resources to Maharashtra, which goes to the Vidarbha region. So, but when the state is separated, their financial source would be cut down. So if a state can cope with this, if it can arrange central grants, so I think it is viable to create states.
Another question I will ask. You said that government has the target 30% electrical vehicles by 2030.
Yes, sir.
Is it something like 5 trillion economy target, or is it a realistic target?
Sir, I think if the cost of batteries is reduced and we reduce the import and develop our own indigenous batteries, and if we make some structural shifts, for example, setting up charging infrastructure, then I think it can be achieved. And there are recent cars like, for example, Tata Nexon, which is an electric vehicle, and MG has also come up with a car which is electric.
You know, the Mahindra, you know, the top car, he had made some comment about it. Did you see what did he say about electrical vehicles?
So I'm not aware of the exact comment.
Let me ask you one. How is the state of finances of the central government and how it is measured? You have heard the word fiscal deficit?
Yes, sir.
So tell me something about it. In this year, what is happening about fiscal deficit?
Sir, in the budget, the recent budget, the fiscal deficit is 3.7%, if I'm not wrong. So fiscal deficit is the difference between the expenditure and the revenue, considering not considering the net borrowings by the government.
Okay, what is the, so what is so far, you know, what has been the revenue this year from April to January? You have any idea so far?
Sir, of last year I am aware it was around 30 lakh crores.
The revenue was 30 lakh.
Total budget revenue, sir, if I'm not wrong.
Total budget. This year, in the first 10 months, it is only 12 lakh crore.
Okay, sir.
The figure came out today.
Sorry, sir.
The last question I will ask. There's just one small question on
Yes.
external affairs, foreign affairs. You know, recently this Sri Lankan former Prime Minister was here. You followed him, Vikram Singhe. Have you heard his name? Did you see
I have
this?
heard his name.
Okay, you have not followed him. I am not going to ask about, you know, India, Sri Lanka. I am just asking about something, you know. He talked extensively about SAARC and BIMSTEC.
Yes, sir.
And he said, you know something about SAARC?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what is the status of SAARC today? And why it is not able to make headway?
Sir, the Achilles heel in SAARC is the presence of Pakistan, so which is absent in BIMSTEC. That is why the Pakistan keeps on vetoing our issues and does not play along. And there is a tough negotiation between India and Pakistan. So this affects the overall development of SAARC.
So, should we take up to expel Pakistan from SAARC then? Because if it is the mother of all problems, should we expel Pakistan? Should we ask for its expulsion? What did Vikram Singhe? What is the other option can be? When was the SAARC summit took place last time? You have any idea?
Sorry, sir.
It has been a long, long time. 2014. See, many suggestions have been that, you know, we should set aside the bilateral discussion and, you know, like today this multilateral, like ASEAN, it's a shining example. EU, we don't need talk. So there are Mercosur, there are so many, he spoke of all this thing. So is it not a time to have it, because everything has got stalled in SAARC.
Yes, sir.
Is it not a time to try to revive SAARC?
Okay, sir, multilateralism does help us and every other neighboring country. Sir, but unless and until we either restore the relations with Pakistan or either we exclude Pakistan.
So you said we restore relation. We don't have diplomatic relation with Pakistan.
So the current state of relation is not very encouraging.
But we have diplomatic.
Yes, sir, we do have relations.
So unless we resolve our differences
Yes,
to somewhat, all differences will be difficult to resolve.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just wait outside.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.